So ever since I put this new washer and dryer in quite a few years back, I had to take the door off of here because these stuck out further than the LGs. So today we're going to remedy that. Alright guys, John with the ProCut, and here's how we're going to remedy this situation. I'm going to take this wall and we're going to bump it out all the way to the edge of the overhang here. We're going to give ourselves about another 12 inches on the inside there. So I'm going to have to cut this whole wall out. First thing I'm going to do is, you can see I've got a stud right here. So I'm going to come right down this line here with the saw. I'm going to take out any screws that I can. Most of this is nails, but we got a few screws. The dryer vent is screwed in, and there's a couple of screws down here on this end. We're going to cut this board out, and then we're going to redo the framing and bump this out, and I'm going to bring you along the journey. So the first thing you want to do is set the depth on your blade, because you don't want to cut in too deep. Now I've made a cut down that seam that I said I was gonna, and then I've cut across just about 18 inches, 2 foot up, and I'm gonna rip off that piece first, and that's gonna be my exploratory panel. So this will be the first time this has been opened up since it's been built. Kind of curious to see what's behind here. You can see I foamed all my wood, so that gave me some protection in here. It looks pretty good actually, nice and dry. We got power running up here. Little bit of moisture on my sill plate and the floor. That was from before I protected it. Now this was the first building I ever built, so I did a lot of things wrong. If there'd have been flashing or house wrap on here, this would have totally been protected and this water damage never would have happened. So that's that. So we need to pull the insulation out of here as well. And I believe I've got OSB on the inside. Now it's cut all the way up and across for the opening that needs to be expanded. I probably will be taking that last piece out too, but for now, that's good. And then we're gonna be cutting over at least half of this stud as well, possibly. But the wall is probably gonna come all the way over to here. That way it doesn't look too goofy from the outside on the bump out. We'll make it all the way over, most likely to the edge of this roof. This whole panel is off. You can see this is the power plug for the dryer. It's got the 10 gauge for the 220. This is the power for the washer and dryer. The dryer vent. You can see a little bit of dust around here where the the vent had a slight leak. It wasn't, it's not perfectly sealed because you've got to be able to slide that thing back into there. So it is what it is. Now we can start cutting this insulation out of the way, and then we're going to have to figure out what we need to do. Probably going to have to bring the washer and dryer forward so I can cut that plywood out. One piece of insulation out of the way. You see everything in there looks pretty good. Tiny bit of water damage at the bottom, and like I said, that was caused because I didn't have flashing on here, and so water wicked in from the OSB floor panel and it's wicking up the wall here. But you can see it's only gone up a couple inches, so it's really pretty impressive considering how wrong it was built. And then silicone on the edge here, that was put in after the fact as well on this corner for the siding. Insulation's cleared out. Now I've used the Sawzall to cut the rest of this because I'm going to go ahead and rip this out. I've started pulling all the nails. I've still got some up higher. I opened up a little bit more wall because this stud's gonna have to come over for this opening to be big enough. I cut this stud free from the sill plate. I've turned my electric off to the washer and dryer because I'm going to need to remove these staples off of this stud so it can be moved as well. The first stud is now out of the way, and that'll be moved over like 4 inches or so. The next stud is out. I've scored the plywood. I've just got to saw the bottom with the Sawzall, and I can rip this out and this wall will be open. Now half of this board is out. Man, you can see all the lint and everything that accumulates behind these machines. This is why it's so important to service your machines, because they could become a fire hazard, especially if, unlike mine, you're not on an outside wall where the vent is just coming right through the wall. If you've got a long duct, man, it could really get clogged up, and you can wind up losing your house and everything.